This week on Rock Feed After Dark, it's a big night in rock music to say the least, with the release of that highly anticipated new album from Ghost, Skelea, out everywhere now, worldwide. Plus, we got a brand new song from Sleep Token as well. And as it relates to that new Ghost record, there's been a lot of conversation online accusing the band of copying a legendary classic rock song. We're going to take a look at that. Plus, we also talked about Sharon Osbourne calling out that band Kneecap and Coachella over that performance. She says they're openly supporting terrorist organizations, and now that band has responded to Sharon's call for their visas to be revoked here in the US. So much news to get to, and also a very special message from one of the most influential people in rock that relates directly to you. You're going to want to stick around and not miss that. Stay tuned right here on Rock Feed After Dark. Now, first up tonight, the new record from Ghost is here, Skelea, and the band first started teasing this new album several weeks ago with that very clever billboard in Las Vegas that emitted smoke, and then they announced the first single, which was Satanized. And from there, it's been a great campaign from the band. Very creative, and they've done a great job generating attention. Now, the Skelea tour also just kicked off. That is the phone free, and there has been some delays getting into the show, but once the show took place, the fans have been having a great time despite that policy. So this tour is also going to be hitting the US very soon. I've got the dates up on your screen. Now, with the release of this album, I've really enjoyed the singles that they've released, especially that song Lacrima. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. I don't know exactly how to say it, but that to me was one of the heavier tracks, and it was kind of a throwback to that Meliora era, which to me is like the goated era for Ghost fans in my opinion. But I've liked all of the singles. The new track is called Peacefield. That was their latest single that came out, and a lot of people have been talking about this online, accusing the band of knocking off none other than Journey, who wrote the song Separate Ways. They say that it's really similar and it sounds a lot alike. So what I want to do here is look at what people are saying about this track and then also play two very short snippets of it so you can make up your own mind. But I want to add a caveat. This is something that gets said all the time. There's only a certain number of chords in music that you can use, and I'm not so sure that just because two songs even sound the same, that it necessarily means that a band is trying to copy another group. But there are genuine similarities between this track, so I'll let you make up your own mind as to what you think. But this is something we've talked about a lot here on the channel. It's really hard to tell if somebody is copying another artist intentionally, or if just through the writing process and through that kind of aesthetic that Ghost is going for, that it was happenstance. But nonetheless, let's take a look at what people are saying. Now, in a thread about this song on Reddit, Ghost fans were chiming in. One fan said, "I can't stop hearing the chorus to Journey's Separate Ways. It's a bit distracting, honestly. After Satanized and Lacrima being certified bangers, this is definitely underwhelming." Another person said, "The chorus is 100% Separate Ways, LOL." This fan says, "Color me whelmed." Another user responded saying, "You don't like Separate Ways by Journey? Don't worry. Someday love will find you. Break those chains that bind you." And these are some of the top comments on this discussion about the track. So I want to play two really short clips from both tracks so you can get an idea of these similarities here. First, here's that iconic chorus from Journey's Separate Ways. All right, and now here is a little bit of that chorus from Ghost's Peacefield. Look, there's obviously some similarities there, but as to whether or not Ghost was intentionally trying to copy Journey, you let me know down in the comments what you think. It's hard to tell. I don't really think that that's what they're doing. I think Tobias has proven over a period of time that he's a really good songwriter. Now, Ghost's sound has changed significantly over the course of their career. There's no doubt about that. They're much more of an accessible rock band these days than they were back in the past, but I think that's just a natural progression through the eras of the band. I think this was intentional for a long time, but there are some older fans of Ghost that are like, I don't like the stuff they're putting out now. But needless to say, it's obviously connecting with a huge number of people, and I'm really excited to digging into this new album. I really liked Impera, and so I know I'm going to love this album as well. So shout out to Ghost. The new record, Skelea, is out everywhere now. Next up, we got to talk about what Sharon Osbourne had to say about Coachella and this band Kneecap, who made some statements up on stage at the performance that did not sit well with her. Here is what went down and what Sharon Osbourne had to say at the time about the situation. And then after that, I've got a brand new response just in from Kneecap. The controversy began at the end of Kneecap's set at Coachella, who, according to BBC, projected 3 messages on the screen to the crowd following the conclusion of their set. The first message read, "Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinian people." Next, "It is being enabled by the U.S. government, who arm and fund Israel despite their war crimes." And next, "F Israel, Free Palestine." Later during the set, one of the band's members said, "The Irish not so long ago were persecuted at the hands of the Brits, but we were never bombed from the skies with nowhere to go. The Palestinians have nowhere to go." The group also led the audience in chants of Free Palestine. And in response to that performance, Sharon Osbourne released a statement expressing outrage at the onstage messages from this group, even calling for them to have their visas revoked as a result of the incident. She wrote, "Coachella 2025 will be remembered as a festival that compromised its moral and spiritual integrity. Golden Voice, the festival organizer, facilitated this by allowing artists to use the Coachella stage as a platform for political expression. Kneecap, an Irish rap group, took their performance to a different level by incorporating aggressive political statements. Their actions included projections of anti-Israel messages and hate speech, and the band has openly supported terrorist organizations. This behavior raises concerns about the appropriateness of their participation in such a festival and further shows they are booked to play in the USA. Reports indicate that Golden Voice was unaware of Kneecap's political intentions when they were booked. However, after witnessing their performance during the first weekend, allowing them to perform again the following weekend suggests support of their rhetoric and a lack of due diligence. Scooter Braun, who has been involved in organizing the Nova Music Festival exhibit, a tribute to the victims of the October 7th attacks in Israel, has defended Golden Voice CEO Paul Tollett as he attended the Nova exhibit. If Tollett visited the Nova exhibit, he would have seen the portraits of every person that was killed that day and heard some of their voices on cell phone recordings sent home to their loved ones. It is difficult to comprehend how, if anybody saw this exhibit firsthand, they could book a band on their festival that is in support of what was done that day and supports the group responsible for this mass murder. Not one IDF soldier was killed that day, just 1,400 innocent civilians. The independent artist group, which represents Kneecap, including individuals of Jewish heritage, it is disheartening that they have not used their positions to prevent the promotion of such controversial messages. As someone with both Irish Catholic on my mother's side and Jewish heritage on my father's side, and extensive experience in the music industry, I understand the complexities involved. I urge you to join me in advocating for the revocation of Kneecap's work visa." Now, you can tell from that statement that Sharon Osbourne was very frustrated with the matter, but now we have a response from Kneecap in a statement to Rolling Stone reacting to what Sharon had to say. There was also word that their statements had been cut from their first performance from Coachella, and they were ultimately displayed on that screen at their second performance at the second weekend. This is what they had to say in response to Sharon Osbourne. In a statement to Rolling Stone, a member of the group said, "Her rant has so many holes in it that it hardly warrants a reply. But she should listen to War Pigs that was written by Black Sabbath, her husband." Wow. Now, this has obviously been a horrific war, and we've been seeing artists on both sides of this issue sharing their opinions. You had Green Day vocalist Billy Joe Armstrong expressing his views from the stage. You had Disturbed frontman David Draymond respectfully calling upon Billy Joe Armstrong to talk to him and maybe hear his side of things. He said he had a lot of respect for him. Numerous other artists, of course, have been outspoken on either side. So very, very unfortunate, but you have Sharon calling for those visas to be revoked, and then Kneecap obviously saying how they feel. Now, they also pointed out they have been outspoken on this issue for many years now, so they dispute the idea that no one expected them to say this up on stage. And speaking of Coachella, Green Day recently headlined both weekends at the festival, and that apparently caused a bit of a stir with pop star Charlie XCX, who let her feelings be known at an after party for the festival where she also performed wearing this sash, which reads, "Miss Should Be Headliner," and you had the band responding in a hilarious way. Here's what went down. This situation with Charlie XCX clearly taking issue with the fact that she wasn't headlining Coachella, over Green Day. She's had monumental success over the last couple of years, but Green Day has been performing live to massive crowds for decades now, so they've got much more name recognition at this point in their career, even though Charlie XCX is definitely going to headline Coachella at some point if her career continues on this trajectory. But she wore this sash that says Miss Should Be Headliner, and Green Day is now having fun with that. This is absolutely hilarious from the band. So first you had Billy Joe seeing in the crowd someone wearing a Brat hat, which is merch for Charlie XCX, and he actually asked if he could wear it for a moment on stage, clearly in response to that. But taking it even further, you have a clear response here from Green Day's Trey Cool wearing this sash, which says actual headliner, and he is just shrugging like, well, what are we gonna do now? And next up, there's been a lot of discussion about the legendary band The Who after they unceremoniously fired their longtime drummer due to some sort of a miscommunication at Royal Albert Hall. The band just announced they would be bringing him back, overturning that decision. Really crazy stuff. Here's what went down with The Who. Now, we've covered a lot of lineup changes in bands over the years here on Rockfeed, and it's not common that a couple of days later they reverse their decision. Crazy moment here from The Who. The band announced the news and explaining the reasons behind this in the statement, which says, "Newsflash, Who backed Zak? He's not being asked to step down from The Who. There have been some communication issues, personal and private, on all sides that needed to be dealt with, and these have been aired happily." Now, what's interesting here in this statement is you have The Who acknowledging that there was actually discussion about Zak's drumming style. They continue, "Roger and I would like Zak to tighten up his latest evolved drumming style to accommodate our non-orchestral lineup, and he has readily agreed. I take responsibility for some of the confusion. Our TCT shows at the Royal Albert Hall were a little tricky for me. I thought that 4.5 weeks would be enough time to recover completely from having a complete knee replacement." Wow. Amazing that he was even able to power through those shows. He said, "Why did I ever think I could land on my knees? Wrong." By the way, this is a great statement. They continue saying, "Maybe we didn't put enough time into sound checks, giving us problems on stage. The sound in the center of the stage is always the most difficult to work with. Roger did nothing wrong, but fiddle with his in-ear monitors. Zak made a few mistakes and he has apologized, albeit with a rubber duck drummer. We are a family. This blew up very quickly and got too much oxygen. It's over. We move forward now with optimism and fire in our bellies." As for Roger, fans can enjoy his forthcoming solo shows with his fabulous drummer, Scott Devours, who it was rumored might replace Zak in The Who and who has always been supportive of the band. I owe Scott an apology for not crushing that rumor before it spread. He has been hurt by this. I promise to buy him a very long drink and give him a hug. Pete Townsend, 19th of April, 2025. All right, and now I want to tell you about a really special video message that I received from one of the most influential people in rock music. If you love rock music, you've probably heard of at least one of his absolutely massive festivals. I'm talking about Danny Wimmer, the founder of Danny Wimmer Presents, DWP. They put on festivals like Welcome to Rockville, Sonic Temple, Louder Than Life, Aftershock, Incarceration, and a number of others. Now, he sent me this video message. He's been a longtime supporter of the channel. He was one of the first people that I think really got it and understood it. And he's trying to go bigger than ever for Sonic Temple and all of his festivals this year. But he also wanted to help me get to 1 million subscribers even faster. So he's going to give back to you, the incredible Rockfeed community, with, I cannot understate, an incredible opportunity to see Metallica like you've never seen it before. Here's what Danny had to say.
Hey Brian, Danny Wimmer. Man, 3,000 subscribers away from hitting 1 million. I want to do something special. I want to give 2 pairs of Rock Royalty tickets to you for the next 3,000 people who sign up to enter to win. It's the most expensive ticket we have at Sonic Temple. Man, so proud of you. Watching you build such a meaningful YouTube channel, and all your socials are just moving the needle for rock. You're a big part of rock. We count on you. Man, congrats. I want to be part of this 1 million subscriber. So I got 2 pairs of Rock Royalty tickets for Sonic Temple. Come see Metallica, Korn, and Linkin Park. Much love to Rockfeed and you. Love you, buddy.
Man, that means so much to me, and it's honestly just so crazy to think of how far things have come. And someone who's done as much for rock music as Danny Wimmer, that just really means a lot to me. But I want to tell you what this really entails. If you send me a DM on Instagram proving that you've subscribed, let me know. Some people can't send screenshots. It's all good. But if you hit me up, I will select a random winner. I've got the details down in the description. But to give you an idea of just how crazy this is, check out what the actual Rock Royalty experience will entail. The Rock Royalty Reserved Pass gives you the best seats in the house. For the first time ever at Sonic Temple, choose your reserved seat at the main stage in the stadium, along with exclusive access to the new Rock Royalty Lounge, as well as access to Sonic Temple VIP Lounge, all general admission areas, field not included, dedicated festival entry, elevated restrooms, commemorative gifts, and more. Thanks again, Danny. And now we got to talk about all the incredible new music and tour announcements that we've gotten this week. This year is going to be massive for rock, with the new track out everywhere now from Sleep Token, On the Road to Even in Arcadia. That new single just dropped a short time ago, so I got to hear what you think about this new track. The new song is called Damicles. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'm horrible with pronunciation, but either way, I know I'm going to love it. I love everything Sleep Token's ever done. On the road to the new record, Even in Arcadia, and my boys in Slaughter to Prevail just announced their brand new record called Grizzly, and they released what I think is their best music video yet and their best track yet, called Russian Grizzly in America. And this is pretty much an action film condensed down into the music video. Now, this highly anticipated new record, Grizzly, is slated to be released in July. I cannot wait, and it was an honor to be able to react to this track. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. Plus, we've got some big announcements this week from a number of bands. Now, this is a band that is definitely one to watch. Kublai Khan, I just saw them on tour with Killswitch Engage, and they got such a strong reaction from the fans. Their music is absolutely heavy as hell. This headline tour happening very soon. They just announced it. And the tour features support from Drain, Gideon, and Guilt Trip. Definitely go see this tour. I got the dates up on your screen. Now, it wasn't enough that we just got a brand new record from Zero from Linkin Park. They're also releasing even more new music. A few weeks ago, we got that new track, Up From the Bottom. And now we got a brand new track from the band this week called Unshatter, which just released. Also looking forward to checking that one out. And I thought this was amazing. Alice Cooper just announced he's reuniting with his original band for the first time in 51 years to make a brand new album. It's never too late. I think that's really cool. Getting back with the old school band and taking things to another level. Here are the details on that new album. The band is scheduled to release The Revenge of Alice Cooper on July 25th. Via Ear Music. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in and supporting each and every week right here on Rock Feed After Dark. Consider joining the Feed fam if you're new here. Directly support the channel and also hit that subscribe button with the latest news and updates and all of our daily news videos right here on Rock Feed. And I'll see you soon.